Well, Scheana, how are you doing? How are you holding up during this crazy time here?
I'm doing well. I'm in San Diego. It is so nice to be down here, get out of that desert heat. Oh my gosh, it was starting to get so hot. Right when Brock got back to work, we're like, okay, my lease is up, your lease is up. Let's just do this together down in San Diego. I mean,
So you
nothing's
left LA.
yeah, nothing's happening in LA right now. So until we have to go back there, I would much rather be by the beach. And this is like my little happy oasis. I get to look at water and boats every day, fireworks at night. It's awesome.
No, you sound like you're living the life right now.
Yeah.
Now we need to talk about your podcast. Tell us a little bit about it. From what fans know, you always keep it real. So for the people that haven't tuned in yet, give us a little sneak peek to it.
I mean, I try and keep my show very lighthearted, but always real. Whether it's, me talking about the miscarriage I went through recently or the fun we're having in San Diego. I just always want to keep the fans up to date with exactly what's going on in my life every week.
Now, is there anything you just won't talk about on your podcast?
Clearly not. I mean, I just talked about thruples, so.
We need to talk about that. Is there anything that you have spilled that you kind of wish you hadn't? Maybe the whole throuple situation?
I think it's just what comes out of my mouth and how it does. Sometimes, thankfully, I have a Naro there who is my producer, and she edits all the episodes, and she is a wizard. This woman is amazing. So if I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way because it could be taken the wrong way, she's so great at just knowing with, just the sensitivities that I don't ever want to offend anyone. And sometimes I could be making a joke that could hurt someone's feelings, and that's never my intention. So I have a great team of not yes people behind me who are like, maybe this could be taken this way. And I'm like, you're totally right. I always try and be careful about that. But after that episode came out on flashbacks, I was like listening back to it, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way because it just sounded like a bunch of threesomes. And I was like, no, that's not what a throuple is. It was just same time. And I was like, let me clear this up. So then I cleared it up on my podcast. So that's the only thing is sometimes I just say things that I know what I mean and the listener takes it a different way. So I just need to be more careful about that. But I do have such a great team behind me there who helps keep us in check.
Yeah, because the throuple news made waves. Everyone was talking about it. Did John Mayer reach out to you and say
I haven't talked to him in a decade, so no, but his songs do come on all the time when Brock and I are driving. It's just kind of like, can we change the station?
It would have been really funny though if he did reach out to you.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure the news made its way to him, but I just was telling a fun flashback story. That's the whole point of Jessica's podcast is flashbacks. And she was like, yeah, my sister told me this. And I was like, oh my God, well, yeah, this. And it just got blown so out of proportion. I was like, no, that's not what I meant.
What did you mean then?
We both had hooked up with him during the same time period. So it was same time period, not necessarily same time. And that's where I think it was a little confusing. And I felt the need to clear that up because I don't need false rumors out there about myself and my best friend.
No, you don't. Now, what about Chrishell? Because I know you on your podcast talked about how you guys were no longer friends anymore. Did she reach out to you after hearing that? Or are you guys trying to make amends or anything?
Honestly, I don't really care to. Jamie is one of my very best friends. And after hearing the way that Chrishell treated her, I mean, I was already off the friendship years ago. I just continued to follow her on social media. Whoa, Salem. Sorry.
No meetings. This is what happens.
He loves his camera time. So I had just continued following her to kind of keep the peace because I didn't want Jamie to have any more issues with being like, well, why would you tell Scheana I said this? And it's like, you said it. And a lot of things got twisted that shouldn't have been. And after the podcast episode was recorded, I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm being fake if I continue to follow this person who I clearly have no interest in having a friendship with. So I had unfollowed her, and then I saw she also unfollowed me. But, you know, I wish her best of luck on Dancing with the Stars, but I have no room for fake people in my life anymore.
There you have it. Now, I want to talk about your relationship with Brock because you seem so happy and fans are so happy for you that you are just living the life right now. How's it going with you guys?
It's amazing. I mean, our 1 year anniversary is coming up in a few weeks, and it's just crazy how much we've been through in less than a year between the places we've traveled. We've been across the world together, moving in, a pandemic, a miscarriage, moving in again in another city. I mean, we've been through so much, and every challenge and every hurdle just makes us that much stronger. And I'm just so excited for whatever this next chapter of our life is. But starting it in San Diego is so exciting. It's a place that anyone who's known me for a long time knows I've always said, I see myself ending up in San Diego. It's close enough to LA. I could do the commute every day if I had to, because if I'm living where I want to be, and that's what I loved about Marina. I'm like, yeah, it's far from stuff, but I get to come home every night and unwind and be on the water and have peace and happiness and quiet. And I love that. So if that means I have to sit a couple hours in traffic, you put on a good audiobook or a podcast and you just enjoy the traffic.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned that you guys went through a miscarriage, which I'm so sorry for. Why did you decide that you wanted to open up about that with your fans?
I think there's so much stigma around infertility and women feeling embarrassed and ashamed and not opening up about something that is so extremely common. I think it's 1 in 4 women have a miscarriage. And I just felt like, you know, people have already been following me on my fertility journey last year through the 2 times I froze my eggs. I was actually getting ready to do a 3rd round. We were talking about, do we just do embryos? Like, we know we do want to be together. I've already frozen eggs. Like, I just think, you know, if we weren't ready, we weren't trying, but we were thinking about freezing embryos. And then, best surprise in the world, you know, I got pregnant. And when that didn't work out, I just felt like I really wanted to share my story because I knew that I wouldn't just be helping one woman. I would be helping hundreds, if not thousands. And that's what I love about my job is I'm an open book. And if by sharing my experiences and my story can even help one person when I know it's helping more, then I feel like I'm literally doing my job. And I'm just letting women know, like, you don't have to be ashamed. This is not your fault. And you're not alone. Like, I feel your pain. And it was just so important for me to share that. I felt like I couldn't record another vlog or episode of Scheananigans without putting out what I was going through in that moment, because it was the biggest and worst thing to ever happen to me in my life. And I'm like, how do I just like pretend like I'm having fun on a vlog when I'm devastated right now? I'm like, this is something that's going to be hard for people to watch, and it's going to be hard for people to listen to. But I know a lot of women are going to be able to relate, and that's why I wanted to put it out there, so they just know they're not alone.
And I'm sure so many women appreciated that so much. Yeah. So where are you and Brock now?
Right now, we're in San Diego. All of my doctors and everything are in LA. So we're just trying to enjoy our life in San Diego right now, have fun. And I think when the time is right to go back to LA, everything will kind of fall into place. But until that time comes, we're just happy here. And I love it. I look outside every day and we're like, we live here. We just got back from Sedona and we got home and it was night. And then we, in the morning, opened up all the blinds and we're like, we live here. Like, I just want to enjoy us and this place right now while I'm still on forced time off. He's working every day, but while I'm not having to work every day, I'm just trying to enjoy this time to myself. Just started listening to a new good audiobook by Gabrielle Bernstein called Super Attractor, and that has really helped change my mindset with just comparing my life to others and seeing, you know, this person has more followers and they have more this, or this person's pregnant and this happened to me. And it's just all about changing your mindset. And I feel like I've gotten a lot better about that in the last couple months. And when you compare yourself to someone else, it's like you're telling yourself you're not good enough. And I know I'm good enough, and I just needed to remind myself of that. New Scheananigans every Friday. As of a few months ago, I'm with ACTIONPARK Media, which is a company that Kevin Connolly started, and he's been a longtime friend of mine. We go back to my first year in LA, which was like, oh my God, 2006, aging ourselves. But we've stayed in touch, and I heard that he opened up a new company. My friend Jessica Hall and Heather Ray Young have a show there called Flashbacks. And Jessica had asked me to do her show, and I was like, oh, wait, you're not with Podcast One anymore? She's like, no, I'm with ACTIONPARK Media. And I was like, I'm actually looking for a new home for Scheananigans. I wonder if that could be a good fit for me. Then when I heard it was Kevin's company, I was like, I'm texting him. Went in, we met. He was my first guest when I was over there, and everything was so amazing. And then I brought Nima Vand from Shaws of Sunset in for an interview. And now he has a show called Off Brand with Nima there as well. So it's a great little family we have. And this week I have my great aunt Shirley on my podcast, which is different because we usually do keep it very like, you know, just a pop culture, reality TV. And this week's episode, I have an actual legend. She was a member of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. She was in a league of their own. She has so many fun stories from the 40s and 50s when she played baseball. So I'm excited for a different Scheananigans episode this week.